Hi guys, welcome to this second tutorial video in the series on how to use Google Classroom as your effective LMS tool. And in this particular video, I'm going to take you through the aspects of setting up an assignment for your students to do, how to effectively give out assignments, what are all the options available to you to explore within the assignment tab, all of that coming up in this particular video. Alright, so before we do that, let's get started by logging into our Google Classroom accounts. And in the previous video, we have already discussed how to get started, how to log into your accounts, how do you create a class, how to enroll students into a class, and to add various topics within your classroom so as to organize your content. And let's see a few of those as a recapitulation, and then we'll take it forward into our assignments module. Alright, so to be able to log into your Google Classroom, it's not required to be logged into one of your Gmails, right? So when you type www.google.co.in as a URL in the address bar, you are led to a Google home screen, which on the top right hand side corner says sign in if you're not signed into one of your Google accounts, or it may give you the initial of your name if at all you're automatically signed in. That is provided if you're using a personal laptop or a computer whereby the usernames and the passwords are saved, then it automatically takes you to one of those saved username profiles in your machine. But if you're using a public machine, or if at all you're not comfortable with saving your passwords on your laptop, this is how your Google home screen is going to look. So how do you get signed in to your Google account and subsequently into the classroom? You click on sign in. It prompts you to sign into one of the accounts which you've been consistently using. So say for example, if I want to get started and I want to sign into my institutional account, it asks me for a password. I enter my password, and clicking next gets me to my Google home screen yet again, but now the difference being on the top right hand side corner, I do see myself signed into my Google account. So now when I access my Google Apps and get into Classroom, there it is. So this is my Google Classroom home screen, and in the previous video we've been dealing with the demo video 1 class. So let me get there to show you what we've done so far. So what we've done is we set up this classroom. We had a class code generated over here, which we shared with our students so that they could enroll into our class. I'm just going to discuss a few additional things about how you can manage your classroom, because currently you see a class code disabled over here, and this could be some very useful feature for you, especially when you don't want any unauthorized entry into your class once you're fairly sure that all your students have enrolled into your classroom. So a few additional things from what we've done previously, and then we'll take it forward into our assignments. So as of now, we've just posted a welcome note to our students. That's probably what we did towards the tailing end of the last video. We also looked at how to customize our theme on the Google Classroom. We did that by select theme option. We also probed the upload photo as an option to have a customized theme for your classroom. Right, if I get into classwork, this is what is the groundwork that we've already done. We've added 3 topics to our class. We've added a topic called content, we've added a topic on resources, and a third topic for assignments. And today we are going to be moving into the create option, whereby we look at the assignment option in quite some detail. Right. Now what I've additionally done is I've added one more student into this classroom so that we can have a look at how the submissions happen and how the submissions look for a course instructor who's initiated a assignment module in the Google Classroom. Right, let's get back to stream, and let me show you something interesting about the settings on your Google Classroom. Now, when you click on settings of the classroom that you're managing, you get this page which shows you the class details. As I told you, the class name is there, which is the required field. Apart from that, the class description, section, room and subject, customizable at any given point in time for your course. Then as we go down, there is a section called as general, and over here the first segment happens to be a class code. Now if you remember, in the previous video, this class code did give you a certain alphanumeric kind of a class code which was self-generated. This class code can also be disabled. Now how do you disable the class code? You just drop down and then you'll see an enable disable option, and once you are convinced that a certain number of students have joined your class and you're not expecting any further, then you can go ahead and disable your class for security reasons. Also, we've looked at the stream option whereby students can only comment, and we've recommended that this should be the preferred stream option for the students so that you can manage your class well. And at the same time, you have classwork being shown as condensed notifications or as attachments or hide notifications. Of course, you wouldn't want to hide notifications because you want your students to know when you're putting something up on the feed. Alright, so you have an option to have a Google Meet added on, so that in case if you want to meet your students live so as to tackle difficulties of theirs, etc., then you will be able to do that if at all your institution is allowing you to add a Google Meet kind of a feature into your Google Classroom. Coming to the last block of grading. Now this grading option is available only for institutions which have taken this up according to the G Suite Edu plan or G Suite Business plan. So according to this grading scheme, you can choose to have no overall grade, or overall grade based on total points, or overall grade based on weighted by category. So these options are available to you to explore, and we'll see how this changes a lot with respect to certain options that are available in the assignment module. Alright, so let me get this started. Let's go to classwork and let's try and start adding an assignment. To add an assignment, all that I need to do is click the create button. I get a drop down which gives me an option to either add an assignment, a quiz, question, post a material, reuse any post, or add another topic. So the module for today is to discuss how to go about assignments. When I click assignment, I get another pop-up window which tells me what are the details for the assignment that I wish to post to my students. Say for example, if I need them to give me an assignment on classification of organic reactions, and all your instructions in support of how you want the assignment to be made, etc., can be put in the instructions space that you're given. So if you want them to upload videos, if you want them to upload a PowerPoint, or you want them just to upload Word files, etc., all those instructions can be given here. You can also give them a heads up on how you're going to be evaluating this particular assignment. All of that can come in the instructions bar. So I can write a Word file with examples of individual classification, so they know what is to be done. Now there are two options that are underneath the instructions field. One of them is to add a resource or to create one. Now let's look at the add resource tab, in which you can either add a document directly out of your Google Drive, you can add a link, you can add a file as an attachment which is physically stored on your machine, or you could add a YouTube link as well. Now let's say for example I want a link added, and I already have a page open which has some information which, if at all I want them to go through before they attempt their assignment, I can just copy this link and I can paste it here and say add link. Now when I do that, on this assignments page, it would add the link that I'm expecting my students to go through before attempting the assignment, and they will need to create a Word file on the title and use some examples from the link, and they can compile their assignment. Right now on the right hand side you have a certain options. First of all, which class do you want to send this assignment to. So as of now we are at demo video 1, so that's the default class option, but if you want to send it to some other classes as well, you just need to go on ticking all the classes that you want to send the same assignment to. So sometimes if you are managing multiple classes but the topic that you're dealing with is the same, then you don't need to create multiple assignments. You can create one assignment and check as many number of classes that you're taking and you feel that it's going to be useful for, and all of them will get the assignment at the same time. The next thing is whether you want to send the assignment to all students or whether you want to customize it for certain number of students. That is completely up to you. So you may either have all students checked here, or you may have certain select number of students whom you want to give out the assignment to checked over here. The next thing is you may either choose to have an ungraded assignment. That means you don't want to award any grade, you just want them to submit their work for the fun of learning, but most often you do want to grade them. So when you want to grade them, then you put down a certain number of points indicating that they are going to be scaled on a certain number of points for this assignment. You could either add a due date and a time optionally, or you may have it as an unscheduled kind of an assignment. Most of the times our assignments are time bound, so what you can do is you can drop down and say I want them to submit it in the next 2 days. I'm not so particular about time, so I leave that blank and I say that the assignments are due for Wednesday 29th of April. The next thing I need to do is I need to assign a topic to the assignment that I'm giving out. And already, as I was preparing various topics in my classroom, I did keep a field of assignments where I wanted all my classwork assignments and all of the assessment modules to go into. So I'm going to check assignments here. Now there is an option for rubric and originality reports. We'll come to that a little later. Let's understand the basic setup of the assignment first. And what you need to do is to get your assignment either assigned right away to your students, or you may wish to assign it at a scheduled time later. So when you click the drop down, you can either schedule the assignment, so you don't want to send it right across but you want to probably do it tomorrow, or you have a certain lesson planned for tomorrow and you want to schedule it for tomorrow evening, so that once you have the lesson completed, they should be in a position to go ahead and do the assignment. So you can use all of this options that Google Classroom allows you to use, so as to be able to plan your assignments accordingly, whether you want it to be sent out right away or whether you want them to attempt it at a scheduled time when it will reach them. Right, so let me just click on assign. It says assigning. Let's see what happens to the student look. Let me sign into my student account. Other student account, so that we are able to see what's the option that the student sees when he logs in, right? So there I go to classroom. Right, so when I go to the demo video 1, apart from the first feed of a welcome note from my course instructor, I additionally also see another feed, and automatically on the left hand side it says that there is something that is due on Wednesday, and what is due on Wednesday is basically the assignment that we've just created. So when I click on that, I get this as the student feed. Right, so the student can see that there is a assignment titled classification of organic reactions, and whatever are the instructions that the course instructor has asked me to follow so as to be able to submit the assignment. It's given me some resource to go through, so I can go through those resources and then I can submit my work here. So say for example, if I want to submit my work and if I've done it on a Word file as it was instructed, I can just select one of the files, just doing that randomly right now, and I can say upload. So when I do that, it uploads the Word file, probably what your students will be working on to complete the assignment as instructed by you in the instructions that you've given out in the assignment. And once they are convinced that everything is okay, they say turn in, and it will be prompted that whether you want to turn in your assignment, and I say turn in. So the student has an option to unsubmit if he feels that he's not done a good job and he has to modify certain things. But once it is submitted, it'll come to the course instructor here. So now when I go ahead and check, I see that on my window it says Word file with examples. I have one person who signed, who's turned it in, and for one person it's still assigned, not submitted. Let's go ahead and submit a Word doc for him as well. So I add or create file, select the file, and I say upload. That uploads a Word doc for the second student. Once that is done, turn this in. And I come back to the course instructor view and I go to grades. Now this is what is interesting. Now I have an assignment classification of organic reactions. When I click that, I see that both the students have turned in their assignment. There are no students who have the assignment pending, so all of them have submitted their assignments. And I have some attachments that each one of them has linked to his submission, so that he can describe basically whatever the assignment was due to him. So when I click on this, it exports me to another tab, and this tab opens up a Word file. This is one of the best features of the assignment module in Google Classroom, because you don't need to individually go on selecting the attachment of every student, mark him, and then close the tab, go back. So you're saving some useful time here when you're using Google Classroom as your LMS, because here all that you need to do to toggle from one submission to the next is to press this right arrow key. That's it. So once you've seen the assignment, you feel that this person deserves 6 points, so you put that on the grade. You can choose to add a private comment, good job, can do better, or something like that. You could hit on post, and once you're done grading, you can go to the next one. You see, it's that simple to toggle from one assignment to the next. You're not going back all the way to that home screen where you had created the assignment, and you can just flip from one assignment to the next, just as if you were physically placing one assignment underneath the other while you're doing your corrections, right? So I have the second submission from the second student here. I once again view what is the work being done, and I feel that he deserves 7. I can choose to put some comment. Once done, I see that both of them have some points that they've got. They've also got some comments from the course instructor, but it has not been returned. And unless and until you don't return your the assignment, your student will not be able to see what is the score that he's got. So an easy way to do that is, after you're done with all, you can just click on all students and return for all of them together, or else each time before you close down, you can click on return manually. Once I've returned, now let's see how this looks on the student login. So the student, once again, there are 2 students, one of them got 6, the other one got 7. Let's see, click on the assignment, I get the grade, I get the comment as well. And if I feel that it's not justified, I deserve more than 6, I can initiate a conversation with my course instructor. Or if I want to know how to improve upon the score, then I can still go ahead and chat with the instructor. So it's that simple. Once again, for the next student, I see my score, I see the comments as well. So that's how easy and interesting it is to create the assignment on your Google Classroom. Now, something that I also wish to show you here is you could also add a create option. You could exercise that while preparing your assignment. Now, what does this create option do? Most of the times your submissions are in the form of either a PowerPoint, they could be in the form of a Excel file, they could be in the form of a Word file. And thanks to our Google apps, we have all these three available on the Google platform itself. So you have Google Docs for all the Word related requirements. You have Google Slides for PowerPoint type of submissions, and you have Google Sheets for all the Excel type of submissions. So what I can just do is I can create a doc over here, right here, while I'm on Google Classroom. And that's how collaborative Google apps are. They can allow you access to one of the apps while you're working on some other app simultaneously. So if, say for example, I want a structure in their submission so that it's easy for me to grade them, all that I can do is, say for example, I add a table here, and I resize the table to give them 3 points, 1, 2, 3, and I say here addition reactions, substitution reactions, and elimination reactions, right? And then I make some space available for them to go ahead and make their contribution to the assignment. And as I said, as long as you are connected to the internet, they are automatically saved. I just add a title to the doc, and that doc is attached. Now you can choose to either have the student just view the file. So if you want to send him some content looking at which he should go ahead and make his submission, then you should use this as your option. But the interesting options are, when you drop it down, you can say student can edit as an option. Okay, so when you choose that, that can help you in having the students edit the file for themselves. And if at all you want it to be collaborative between multiple people, then they can work on the same file to make their contributions. Another feature that this allows is create another doc, not make an edit there. Okay, so as of now, since the assignment has already been taken, let me close this out, create another assignment, show you the create option. So when I add a doc, creates the Google Doc and allows me a third option, make a copy for each student. Now that is something that's going to be the most useful option for all of you, because what this is going to do is the Google document which you've made with certain heads on which you want your students to work on, this document will be available as a copy for each student who is enrolled into your course and has to make his submission. So each time he'll be exported to a fresh Google Doc in which he or she makes his contribution, and then eventually when you start assessing them, you'll keep seeing these Word docs go one after the other for your grading purpose. So that's how you can make your grading very, very easy and effective when it comes to Google Docs. And all of this is saved into your drive, so you can access that from the class drive folder. So anytime if you feel that you missed out, I mean, there was a certain Word file that you were opened in onto another tab into, but then you've accidentally closed the tab, no problem. I closed all the tabs, but still all the 3 untitled documents are available for me to rework on if I wish to. or I can delete them off, right? So those options are available right here on the top. So I believe you've at least got a heads up on how to use this assignment tool in Google Classroom. Of course, lots more that you can do with the assignment module, especially with the rubric option as well as the originality option, which we'll be discussing in the next video. Stay tuned.